What's up, guys? Uno here. Got a couple comments, people asking for a tutorial video on how to flatten ground here in Valheim, enough to build on. So I thought I'd make this video, show you guys how I do my flattening. It's been pretty successful for me so far, and hopefully I can help a few people out with theirs. So I started this is a world I just loaded into, brand new world. All I brought with me are a couple tools. And I'll just run to a random spot and show you that it can be done pretty much anywhere. You just have to make sure that there's no trees in the way and no rocks in the way. One thing you absolutely need besides the hoe is you absolutely need a pickaxe. You cannot do this without a pickaxe. In fact, I mean, most people probably try and do a lot of their flattening with the hoe because the hoe has a flattening tool. But for me, I find the pickaxe way more useful. I do the majority of the flattening with the pickaxe, and then the hoe is kind of just like the finishing touches for it. So all we need to do here is find a, maybe a flattish spot with no trees. Something that the average builder would be looking for. And it looks like it's right here in front of us, here in the meadows, right? There we go, right there. Perfection. We got berries here to eat. It'll keep us pumped up. We're ready to go. All right, first things first, we need a workbench. Make a workbench here. Get myself some good staminas, right? Okay, we need a workbench and a couple of panels. Not very many. So we need about 20 wood. It's gonna be 2 logs, give or take. Okay. So we got our 2 logs, 20-ish wood. We're gonna pull out a hammer and build a crafting table. Build it anywhere as long as it's in our radius, because we're not even gonna really use this one. Anytime I do this, this will be one I'll eventually end up tearing down. What does this guy want? Get out of here, dude. Okay. One more. So, anybody else? No? Okay. So, in order to get the full benefits of the workbench, you gotta have, it's gotta be protected. This is how I do it. It's very quick, very easy. 3 walls, 2 low slope roofs, and that'll give you full access to everything in the workbench. You can do all your repairs, you can craft, whatever you need. That's all. Sometimes if it starts raining and the rain blows in from this direction, you might have to put an extra wall face here, but this should be good to go for the most part. Step 2, get rid of the rocks. Okay. Get rid of this rock here. That'll give us some stone, that's good too. And then also the trees that are in the way, the smaller trees and things. Try and get cleaves on them so you can smack the stump and the tree at the same time. So do that when you have the opportunity. Knock trees down with other trees when you have the opportunity. Spoiler alert, but the second boss gives you a buff that lets you cut down trees faster, so that might have been good for this. Okay, here we go. I mean, it's not very even at all. If you built on this, it would be all crooked and you'd be hanging off the edge. You'd have to find all kind of good supports and stuff, and we don't want to do that, right? We want our builds to be structurally sound, and we want to have a flat surface to build on to make that so. Or, I mean, on my servers with my guild, we have, we have cities, we have villages and stuff, so we want to level entire plains worth of things so that we can build together. So, next things next, you want to, oh, hold on, let me get rid of this guy here, this guy over here. Okay, that's good. Oh, there's a rock. Okay. Then the next stage is going to require the pickaxe as well. So we're going to smack the ground with the pickaxe. Okay, you see now we have one square that is level, a level piece of ground. This is a flat piece of earth, one square of it. The trick is getting other squares to flatten with this square when squares bleed into each other. Okay, so like if I just throw an axe wildly to this side, see these two squares are now bled together. Now they share a bit of pieces that make it all wonky. Right, so we use the pick first and foremost. I like getting a straight line going. And you want to just take 2 steps, throw the pick. 2 steps, throw the pick. Okay. You know you're doing it right because the side of you, like the side wall, will form a constant face. Okay. The levelness of the ground we're not too worried about at this point. We can clean it up with the hoe after a while. But the constant face is how you know that you're doing a straight line. So then we'll just go back and continue on, more picking. This is probably the point at which some of you would switch to the hoe, right? But that's not the way. It's not the way I do it anymore. And just continue throwing hands with this pick. You'll see a similar thing happening over on this side with a wall face forming. Now I like to form these wall faces especially because they'll give you opportunities to build fences around your building. Or buildings or a town or whatever it may be, bridge if that's what you're doing. Looks like I'm running out of space, so I'll get rid of a few things. Lots of stone, lots of wood. Okay. We may need the stone, so we want to make sure we don't throw that out. We're going to craft one box. We'll place it here next to our crafting station, and we'll put our stone in there. And our wood too. Keep some stone with us though, because we may need it any moment. Okay. Now we're picking. Might as well repair this pick as well while I'm right here. Remember, repairing costs nothing. No material costs for repairs, so you should always be repairing your stuff. Never throw away a piece of item. Never throw away a piece of gear, an item of any kind. Okay. It's a lot easier for the pick to create dirt, or not the pick, I'm sorry, the hoe. It's a lot easier for it to create dirt than it is for it to destroy dirt. So leveling too much with the pick is much better than not leveling enough with the pick. The hoe will constantly be shuffling the dirt around, making your entire place uneven, right? Okay. Alright, here we go. You can stretch it out just to about this dip right here. There we go. So now we'll pull out our hoe. Step 1 is you want to find, once you pull out the hoe, the first step with the hoe is to find a spot that you know is flat for yourself to stand on, because everything you do with the hoe is based on your feet. And ultimately here you're just looking for the height that you want. what height do you want all of this to be? Mine's going to be about right here. So I'm going to stand completely still here and flatten everything that I can reach with around me. Anything that it doesn't let me click on, like here, I'm spamming the click. Let me see. Okay, not yet. So click all around. And once you get to the point that you cannot click on an area, that's how you know it's exactly flat to where you are. This is based on your stamina as well, so anything that you can do to boost your stamina, like depending on what you eat right here, would be good. And we're not moving, we're just flattening. And we're getting somewhere, we're making progress in this corner, right? So now, as soon as we get to the point where the corner is completely flat, we can take a step forward and stretch it out to that side. And like I said before, the hoe is a lot better at creating dirt than it is at getting rid of it. So we can fill in these spots that are missing. That's not hard for the hoe. Now, if we had big mounds of dirt in front of us, that would be bad. The hoe would just be shuffling them around. Without moving, we want to extend our reach as far as possible. Another thing you do not want to do is hoe onto the top crevices. You want to maintain these wall faces. So make sure you're not letting your hoeing bleed onto the wall. You'll know you got a really good flatness going on when you start seeing marbling, like here around the top left corner of my circle of the hoe. You see how it's cracking and marbling really hard in that? That means it's perfectly flat for that area. Like right here next to my left foot. That's a really good sign. Okay, and then from here we can again pick some things out. And just like before, over picking is not too much of a big deal. Hoeing things that are not picked, that's what you want to avoid doing. And then we can come back here to our flat zone, extend our reach. The farther you reach, the less effect it's going to have, but the safer your hoeing is, right? Because it's having less of an effect, so you're making less impact. So if you do something incorrectly, it's not that much of a big deal, as it might be if you hoed right underneath your body. Okay, so check that out. That's real flat. We're getting there. Looks like this spot right here, like look at this, okay? It's very subtle, but there's a mound here that's being bled across 3 or 4 different squares. There it is right there, my cursor's on top of it. This entire thing, that needs a picking. This is something that would shuffle dirt around, and the dirt would just stay here forever. It's a lot better to overpick than it is to underpick. And we just fill that back in with the hoe. Okay? Perfect. The more area we have on the back side, the easier it'll be as well. So we can make this all one flat face. And remember that the pick and the hose raise ground feature do nearly the same amount of displacement. So if you pick something and then immediately raise ground on top of it, you basically just reversed what you just did. The only real effect that you can do with that is to reverse the bleeding of squares onto other squares. But in reality, you could do the same thing with just picking it and rehoeing it. So it's not, in the long run, it's not really worth the stone that you use. Because I mean, raised ground, this costs stone, you know, this costs stone to do. You're better off just over picking it and raising it back up with the hoe. Like so. And voila, a perfectly flat sector. You could play soccer, you know, a two-man soccer game here. It would be fine. And then once you have a large area, it's a lot easier to just spread it out, because now that you know your footing is good, you do have the ability to move while you hoe. And you can always raise the ground here. It'll come up to where you're hoeing from. Right, and you can extend that indefinitely. Once you get to a low slope, you might have to use raised grounds. Then you could start spreading off into the, you know, spread to the side. Clear out another section like this with the pick. Spread that way and repeat the process, you see? All the same. So the pick is the magic behind making sure you have a flat ground to build on. And pull out our... Let me see, we need another crafting table down here. The other one's too far. Oh, we don't even have wood. Ha. Okay, let's see. Let's go get this wood. Okay. And then we can build on it to make sure it's flat. Okay. Now, as you can see, every single piece is blue. That means every single one of these squares is touching the ground. No levitation going on here. No beams that need support. Every single one is blue. So these are base floors connected to the ground that take no structural integrity. And you can always do this. Place your fire in the middle. And you're halfway to your house. Well, guys, I hope that, I hope a couple people might have learned a few things. Hope that helped some people out with their flattening. Maybe everybody will be able to build epic bases and hometowns and villages for their Vikings, and we'll all be having a fun time here in Valheim. So thanks, you guys, for tuning in. Everybody have a great rest of your day and have fun.